Howdy. Some LEGO sets are worth their weight in gold. Possibly platinum or plutonium. They're worth a lot. I mean, I thought Mr. Gold was the most valuable LEGO, but it turns out there are sets out there worth even more. Some of these sets are extremely old and very rare. So rare that some of them haven't been found for sale online or across hundreds of retail stores for years. So let's look back across 80 years of LEGO and check out the 10 rarest LEGO sets of all time.
Hey Strider.
Oh hey Just Too Good, thanks for dropping in. Just Too Good will be joining us for a few of his comments here and there on these different sets, though he wanted to make it clear that I did the research for this one. So without further ado, on to the top 10 countdown. Psych, number 11. 10189, the LEGO Taj Mahal First Edition.
Hang on, didn't you say top 10?
Well, yeah, but I didn't have room for the Taj Mahal and I just had to mention it. I mean, look at this, it's a real spectacle of a set to behold. And it's no wonder as it's made of a massive 5,922 pieces. And it was really valuable. Too Good, what happened to make such a massive set drop in price so much?
Well, in 2017, LEGO retaliated on resellers by re-releasing the set with one additional piece.
Oh wow, one additional piece?
What a twist!
What an astonishingly detailed update. But boy howdy did it drop the older set's price. Back in 2014, before the re-release, the highest recorded price I could find on Amazon was $7,936. And that's a lot of scratch for a LEGO set. But as of the re-release, the price dropped like a rock. Now it's early on the list because it's only worth about $1,000 today. And compared to some of these others, that's practically pennies.
If you don't care about the value though, this set is still a beautiful addition to any collection. I would recommend just getting the small one available at LEGO stores now. It'll run you $120 in the United States.
Number 10. 3450, the LEGO Statue of Liberty. It's dear LEGO Lady Liberty, and she is worth some fine scratch today. The price for this set started at about £170 in 2000, but as of 2021, the mint-condition set can sell for like $4,000 to $5,000 US. Yeesh, you'd be surprised how tall this set is too. The statue is over half a meter tall. That may not sound like much, but for a LEGO set, that's pretty tall.
Despite its size though, some collectors think this set is a bit too bland. This set contains 2,882 parts and most of them are sand green bricks.
Well, I do have to admit, compared to the majestic beauty and astonishing detail of the original statue, LEGO Liberty's kind of underwhelming. I mean, they didn't even bother with the stunningly detailed masonry below her.
Well, fortunately, they did bring some extra detail in set 21042, but despite this, it still doesn't fetch the value of that original set.
Number 9. 1952-1, the LEGO Melt Truck. I love how incredibly simple yet crazily rare this set is. The max price I found for an unopened set was $4,287 US. So it certainly ain't no El Cheapo LEGO.
Part of this is just because of how hard it was to find. You see, in 1989, LEGO released this milk truck exclusively in Denmark to promote the Danish dairy company MD Foods, now known as Arla Foods.
So a promotional truck as old as me now promoting a non-existent company name? Yeah, good luck to anyone actually trying to find this set. But there's actually something else about this set that makes it even rarer. It was one of the very few sets at the time to use pure green pieces. And as I mentioned in banned LEGO sets, LEGO used to refrain from using green pieces to avoid kids building military equipment like tanks. Back then, basically only the base plates were ever green. And Flora, of course. So, you know, hypothetically, in 1989, if you bought 100 of these sets, you could have said, screw you to LEGO and built yourself a tank.
I'm literally in the tank tonight.
Though if anyone actually did that, I'm both admiring and concerned for their dedication. With only 133 pieces in total, these MD trucks remain as rare as diamonds in a sea of zircons. And you'll often find some hefty bids from collectors when they track down a set for sale. And for number 8, 10,018, LEGO Darth Maul Bust. I've heard some people actually label this the scariest LEGO set ever made. And while I think that's a little hyperbolic, other people refer to it as terrifying but magnificent, and that I can agree with. LEGO Maul's got a chillingly creepy stare to him. In color, He's almost purely jet black with blood red, standing over half a meter in height. Personally, I'd argue he's more intimidating now than he was as a Sith. So if you're one of that rare breed that happened to really like Darth Maul from Star Wars Episode 1, well, now you have the option to plonk his face in the living room, for your neighbors to observe in horror as he menacingly glares back at them.
Though buyers may be in for a challenging build, this bust is fairly dense as a 1,868 piece set. Even if you're up for the challenge, it's also an expensive build, averaging $3,000 to $4,000 new. This means Maul had a price growth of 1,508% over the last 20 years. As rarity goes, this is one of the rarest Star Wars pieces from the well-known Ultimate Collectors series, and few collectors claim to own it.
Having been released and discontinued for like 20 years now, it's no surprise Maul's massively oversized mug gets a collector's gawking. And for 7 lucky 7, 3443-1, LEGO Mosaic. What a bizarre set. This marks the first time LEGO got really customizable with their sets. The set allowed creators to build a mosaic of their own face. Basically, builders uploaded their face to the LEGO website. This picture could then be made into a custom mosaic, with, of course, one small catch. You see, the only colors we got consisted of white, black, dark, very light grey, and less light grey. So you can make any picture you like, any at all, just so long as it's black and white. And be prepared for a tedious process, as this mosaic was made up of 2,427 pieces. It's no wonder this set got so rare and expensive. If I got this thing in 2000, I think I would have just given up and churned it through the garbage disposal. The mosaic image buyers followed was rendered using a program written by LEGO enthusiast Eric Harshbarger, seen here reviewing his wall.
So I finished the brick wall today, the second brick wall.
To be fair though, he did a fine job with this wall. It looks good. Personally, I probably would have just thrown the bricks in a pile and hoped for the best. Anyway, finding this mosaic set sealed is almost unheard of. The set was mostly sold in the Legoland gift shops, and even the used sets now go up for $1,000. Number 6. 10,196. Legoland Grand Carousel. This 3,263 piece kit is known as one of the top collector's items. The resale prices vary wildly, ranging from $2,000 to even $5,000. Once the carousel's built, it plays music while the figures move up and down. The builds contain a motor and a sound brick that makes this possible. But seeing LEGO figures move around untouched like this actually feels kind of uncanny to me. With its over 3,000 pieces, it's quite a spectacle to see built. I saw Austrian LEGO fan build it, and it's a ridiculous level of complexity. Because of this complexity, the set was specifically targeted at teen and adult LEGO fans. Something I appreciate about this set is that unlike a lot of the grey monochrome Star Wars sets, this set actually has some color, a wide range of colors. Red, yellow, blue, gold, doesn't it just stand out? Though despite its high price tag, I've heard complaints from some LEGO fans that it falls apart way too easily.
There's a pointless stuff on it.
It's possibly due to the more flimsy base plate, but I'm not quite sure. But if you do just want the carousel experience without the high price tag, LEGO did release another similar set in 2017, the 10257 set. And frankly, I think this set looks fine as well. This one will set you back around $400 to $500, you know, instead of an outrageous $2,000 to $4,000. But if people do want to go for that higher price tag, I mean, I guess there's worse things you could spend your money on. Who am I to judge? Number 5. 10,143. Star Wars Death Star 2. As you might have already guessed, this partially constructed Death Star comes from Return of the Jedi.
You are clear to proceed.
We're starting our approach.
Though ironically, part of its rarity stems from the fact that it didn't sell well on release. The set was launched in 2005, but didn't sell as well as the Death Star 1 model, so LEGO discontinued the model in 2007. Originally in 2005, the Death Star 2 was a record breaker for the most bricks ever in a set. It totaled a massive 3,449 pieces. Of course, nowadays, sets like the 2017 Millennium Falcon blow this out of the water at over 7,000 pieces. I believe this is what currently holds the record for the most amount of pieces in a LEGO set. Though despite this being essentially a half-made LEGO set, upon being discontinued, Death Star 2 became a very expensive collectible. The set sells for at least $2,000 nowadays, and if you want a factory sealed one, well, the only price I could find was over $5,000. Number 4. $63.99 LEGO Airport Shuttle Monorail. This is by far the most rare and expensive monorail set LEGO has ever produced, and I gotta say, it certainly stands out visually. When I look at the other two monorail sets LEGO's done, they've mostly used these drab grey and white and black space colors, which looks cool, but it's kinda dull by comparison. But look how bright and colourful this 1990 set is. Why is it we have to go back 31 years just to get some freaking colour on our train?
Mark, I want to be a monorail conductor.
Oh, no.
It's my lifelong dream.
And in case you're wondering how these trains cruise around the track, the rail cars have a battery-powered motor, which is a nice extra. So you might be asking, how did this monorail become such a rare discontinued gem? Well, back in the 80s, LEGO decided to outsource production of their monorail tracks to another company, only for that company to go bankrupt. This meant that the tools to make the track were lost forever. This completely halted all production of LEGO Airport monorail sets, and it's a shame because it's delightful to see on display. In fact, I think it's my personal favorite of the monorail sets. Nowadays, the rarity of this monorail is pretty astonishing. The only one I could find in relatively new condition was apparently kept in a museum till now. And at $4,500 US? Well, instead I might just buy a modern day LEGO set for 1/20th of the price, and maybe ride the monorail around the airport a bit. And the third rarest LEGO set is 13081 LEGO Fire Station. Back before children of the 90s, 80s, 70s, or even the 60s, there were these strange and unfamiliar LEGO sets. These sets were way more basic than nowadays. My guess is this price is an underestimate, because holy cow was this thing old. In fact, this was the first LEGO Fire set ever. In fact, it's one of the first legitimate LEGO sets ever with an actual theme. Back then, the automatic binding brick was just in gift sets, or Gavaskate. Even used, this station sells for at least $2,500. In order to make an estimate of the price on a new one, well, we'd actually have to find someone selling it. Back before this set, LEGO mostly just sold bricks and a handful of windows. That's it. Oh boy, bricks and windows with hardly any guidance on what to do with them? What a shocker, they didn't sell well. I mean, just look how colourful and eye-catching these colours are. We have white and red and more white, and that hideous creamy white that only people over the age of 91 like.
To be fair, LEGO wasn't a thing that existed back then. At the time, the whole concept of building blocks was brand new. And LEGO was only being introduced in Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, because back then LEGO was purely a Scandinavian thing. To put its rarity in perspective for you, in 1957 this set cost $6.84. This set had an annual growth of 10%, giving it a total growth of 48,878% as of today. I'm stumbling on the numbers because it's so big.
Youch, that adds up to a highest recorded price of $7,912. And in 1957, that well could have bought a house.
Yeah, times certainly changed.
And I think the second rarest LEGO set is LIT 2009-1. Old Kirk's House. Ah, Old Kirk's House. I've heard this one was a very exclusive set.
It certainly was. This set was solely a special gift to attendees of the LEGO Inside Tour of 2009. In fact, only 32 hand-numbered copies were ever made, though there's also a similar 2012 version that was made available exclusively to LEGO employees, and this one is a little bit easier to find. This is the house owned by the founder of LEGO, Ole Kirk. In fact, on the back of the box, we can see pictures of the original LEGO house and Ole Kirk Christiansen himself. This was the company's original Denmark store from 1932.
The highly flammable store. Seriously, we probably wouldn't have LEGO today if this woodworking store hadn't plunged into fiery infernos every 10 minutes. You see, Old Kirk originally made wooden stools, wooden ladders, and wooden ironing boards. You can see where I'm going with this. It was basically like putting the fireworks factory next to the match factory. But despite multiple fires and near bankruptcy, Old Kirk pulled through and started plastic molding, and the rest, as they say, is history. The 2009 set is so exclusive that I actually couldn't find any trace of it being sold in recent years. This is another case where, because of the extreme rarity of the item, the current estimated price may actually be much lower than the true value, assuming this ridiculously rare set can even be found for sale. And before we get to the number ones, let's go through some quick honorable mentions. 4051, the LEGO Nesquik Bunny. Oh hey, too good. I seem to remember you opening one of these back in 2018.
I sure did, and I could see the value dropping with every scissor cut I made. This is certainly among the rare and most expensive minifigures. It was available exclusively in parts of Europe in 2001.
This video is specifically about LEGO sets, but this figure looks so neat, I had to just at least mention it. He almost looks tasty, almost good enough to eat. Oh, don't worry, Boo. Even I wouldn't do something that stupid. I told you, I thought he looked like candy. 10,179 UCS Millennium Falcon. This is probably the most well-known valuable LEGO set of all, and it's certainly one of the most sought after in the Star Wars Ultimate Collector series. But honestly, from my research anyway, it's actually not that rare compared to a lot of these other sets. If you've got the disposable income, you could probably pick one of these up in an online auction, as they're sold relatively frequently, at least compared to these other sets. As for the set itself, at over 5,000 pieces, it is one massive achievement to put this set together. 4,012,000 Piper Airplane. Like Old Kirk's house, this was another exclusive set given on the LEGO Inside Tour. This one was given out on the 2012 tour. The design is based off the first airplane the LEGO Group acquired in 1962 to expand their stores to international borders. Although this one is very, very valuable and rare, I left it off the list because I thought it had a bit too similar a story to Old Kirk's house, and I try to give you as much variety as I can in these vids. But it's no doubt among the most rare and valuable LEGO sets ever made. 37231 LEGO Minifigure Sculpture. Standing over half a meter tall with 1,849 pieces, he's a rather impressive sculpture really. He's not worth much compared to these other sets, but again, I just like the look of him. He's got more of those bright, varied colors that I really appreciate in LEGO sets. Anyway, moving on. 6080 King's Mountain Fortress. Back in the 90s, this was the first LEGO set I ever had. King's Mountain Fortress was made back in 1989 and has since become a sought-after collectible, but for me, it mostly just brings back nostalgia. Anyway, on to the number one. And I believe the number one rarest LEGO set is 4,000,001 LEGO Molding Machines. Sorry in advance if I don't have too much moving footage of this one, but I found it almost impossible to find any video footage of this set. Only 68 of these were ever made, and I can only find one person who's actually shared pictures on the internet. Kind of strange, really. The rarest LEGO set ever turns out to be a set mimicking the production of itself. Plastic injection molding. The molding machine is a LEGO model of the LEGO molding machine that made the LEGO bricks that made this LEGO set, imitating the process of making itself. Weird. Anyway, in 1949, our buddy Old Kirk finally took the plunge and purchased his first hand-cranked plastic injection molding machine, and the result would frustrate barefoot parents for generations to come. This green monstrosity is basically paying homage to the 1949 machine that got Old Kirk off the ground, and then probably burned in a fire.
The smaller one is the hand crank one Old Kirk used, while the larger one is the example of a modern LEGO molding machine of today.
Of the sole 68 of these that were ever made, they were each given to the 68 attendees of the LEGO Inside Tour of 2011. But what struck me about this set is, despite being made over 10 years ago, it remains mysteriously obscure online. Other sets many people will rebuild using replacement parts using the Brickset.com website.
Yeah, in all my years of building LEGO sets, even I have never come across this one. I only found one person who actually had it, and it was the 8th attendee of the 2011 tour. He was kind enough to open it and show pictures to the Eurobricks community.
That was nice of him. Thanks for that, Simon. After building it, he then proceeded to put the most rare and expensive LEGO set in the world in a bulletproof maximum security glass case. Yeah, that's a good call. And thanks to his generosity of actually opening it, we can now enjoy it too. It is literally impossible to find this set in a store, and it never goes for sale online. From my research, I personally believe this is the absolute rarest LEGO ever made. But Just Too Good claims there to be a LEGO even rarer than this. Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, just as an example, this is not a set, but it is Lego. Back in Germany in 1979 to 1981, a tiny handful of bricks were given to Lego employees that had 25 years of employment at the Lego factory. This was a 14-karat Lego brick.
Oh yeah, and technically it can be used in a LEGO set, so I guess technically it's LEGO. The only one we could find any trace of caused a bidding frenzy on Catawiki.
It eventually sold for £12,000.
£12,000. That's the equivalent to $16,770 US for a Lego brick. It's not the rarest Lego set because it's not a set, but it is by far the rarest and most expensive Lego of all time. And most of the credit for this information goes to Brick Economy and Bricklink, so a big thanks to them for all the helpful information. Thanks for the info, guys. And of course, a big thank you to Just Too Good, who provided a ton of information over the years in his videos.
It was awesome being on your channel. I used to watch the cartoon countdowns, and it's always fun to talk about Lego. If you guys want to see me talk more about Lego and you're watching this, just check out my channel, Just Too Good, where we talk about all things Lego.
If you're curious, I've linked his channel in the description. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.